Imagine this: the very qualities you deny, the impulses you bury, and the emotions you're ashamed of might actually be the gateway to your true purpose. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists in history, called this hidden side of ourselves the shadow. And Jung believed that ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It only makes it stronger. Most of us spend our lives trying to be good, putting forward the version of ourselves that society approves of. We hide our anger, jealousy, selfishness, and even our deepest desires, thinking that if we just push them far enough down, they'll vanish. But here's the truth: they don't. They live on inside us, quietly shaping our thoughts, sabotaging our relationships, and steering our lives in directions we don't even notice. In this video, we're going to dive into Carl Jung's Shadow Theory, explore why embracing your dark side isn't dangerous, it's transformative. By the end, you'll see that your shadow isn't something to fear. It's the missing puzzle piece to unlocking who you really are, and ultimately, discovering your life's true purpose. Carl Jung described the shadow as the unconscious part of our personality that contains all the traits, desires, and emotions we reject in ourselves. It's the side of you that you deny in order to maintain an identity that feels acceptable. Think about it. From childhood, we're taught what behaviors are good and which are bad. When you threw a tantrum, you were told to stop. When you acted selfishly, you were scolded. Over time, you learned that certain emotions and traits weren't safe to express. Instead of disappearing, they sank into your unconscious. The shadow isn't just evil. It's not a monster lurking in the dark. It also includes positive qualities like creativity, ambition, sexuality, or assertiveness that you suppressed because you were told they were unacceptable. This means your shadow contains not only your destructive tendencies, but also your hidden strengths. Ignoring your shadow is like walking through life with only half of your power. You're fragmented, incomplete, and the more you deny it, the more it leaks out unconsciously through passive aggression, projections onto others, addictions, and self-sabotage. To understand your shadow is to see yourself clearly for the first time. And when you see yourself fully, without fear, you unlock the raw energy that has been waiting for your recognition all along. Here's the paradox. The very parts of yourself you try hardest to deny are often the ones controlling you the most. Jung warned that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Have you ever met someone and immediately disliked them without knowing why? That's often projection. Your shadow traits, the qualities you've repressed, are reflected back to you and others, and you judge them because deep down they remind you of yourself. This is why unresolved shadows can ruin relationships. A person who denies their own jealousy may accuse their partner of being unfaithful. Someone who hides their own anger may constantly see aggression in others. Instead of owning these traits, they live in denial, pointing the finger outward. But it doesn't stop at relationships. Shadows shape careers, life choices, even spirituality. How many people chase success not because they truly want it, but because they're running from feelings of inadequacy buried deep inside? How many people avoid opportunities because their shadow whispers that they're not worthy? The shadow is like a puppeteer pulling strings behind the curtain. Until you face it, you are not truly free. But here's the liberating truth. When you shine a light on your shadow, you no longer need to fear it. You integrate it, you claim it, and you use its energy to fuel your growth. So why should you do this difficult, sometimes uncomfortable work? Because integration is liberation. When you accept your shadow, you reclaim the power it holds. That anger you've been suppressing can become assertiveness and courage. That selfishness you've rejected can turn into healthy self-care and boundaries. Even your darker impulses, once acknowledged, lose their destructive hold over you. Carl Jung argued that wholeness, not perfection, is the true goal of life. We're not here to become flawless angels. We're here to become complete human beings, embracing light and dark, strength and weakness, virtue and flaw. Embracing your shadow also deepens empathy. Once you recognize your own darkness, you stop demonizing others for theirs. You understand that everyone has hidden battles, and that understanding builds compassion and connection. Most importantly, shadow integration unleashes creativity and authenticity. The energy you once used to suppress yourself now flows freely into your passions, relationships, and purpose. Many great artists, leaders, and thinkers throughout history achieved brilliance not by ignoring their dark side, but by transforming it into art, innovation, and wisdom. Here's where it gets profound. Jung believed that your shadow is not a barrier to your purpose, it's the doorway. Your deepest wounds often point directly to your calling. The pain you've avoided may contain the very lessons you're meant to share with the world. The anger, grief, or longing you've hidden away can reveal what you care about most deeply. For example, someone who grew up feeling powerless may discover their life's mission in empowering others. Someone who repressed their creativity as unrealistic may find their true fulfillment in art. The shadow isn't just your darkness, it's the raw material of your destiny. When you stop running from your shadow, you uncover your unique story, and your story, complete with scars and shadows, is what gives your life meaning. The truth is, purpose isn't found by chasing only the light. It's found by walking through the dark, integrating what you find, and emerging with wholeness. Understanding the shadow is one thing, embracing it is another. So how do you start? Jungian psychology offers powerful practices known as shadow work. 1. Self-observation. Pay attention to your emotional triggers. Whenever someone provokes a strong reaction in you, ask yourself, what does this reveal about me? 2. Journaling. Write down the qualities in others that annoy you most. Often those traits reflect hidden parts of yourself. 3. Dialogues with the shadow. Jung suggested imagining conversations with your shadow in writing. Ask it questions. Listen to its answers. 4. Dream analysis. Your unconscious often reveals itself through dreams. Take notes and look for recurring themes, symbols, or figures. 5. Creative expression. Art, music, or writing can give form to what words can't capture. The goal isn't to eliminate your shadow, but to integrate it. This takes courage, honesty, and patience. Shadow work can be uncomfortable, but it's also deeply rewarding. What happens if you refuse to face your shadow? Jung was clear. Repression leads to destruction. Unacknowledged shadows often manifest as addictions, toxic relationships, self-sabotage, and even collective violence. History is full of examples where entire societies projected their shadows outward, demonizing the other instead of facing their own darkness. On a personal level, ignoring your shadow means living a half-life. You might achieve success but feel empty. You might appear happy but be haunted by an inner void. You might be good in the eyes of others, but secretly resentful, angry, or depressed. The shadow will not disappear just because you pretend it doesn't exist. In fact, the more you suppress it, the stronger it becomes. Like a shadow in the sun, it follows you everywhere, whether you acknowledge it or not. Here's the ultimate truth. The shadow isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It holds the key to the parts of you you've lost along the way. By embracing your shadow, you stop living in fragments. You become whole. You stop running from yourself, and you finally stand in your full truth. Carl Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Your purpose isn't found by escaping your darkness, it's found by embracing it. So ask yourself, what have you been hiding from? What part of yourself are you most afraid to see? Because within that very darkness lies your power, your truth, and your purpose. The journey is not easy, but it's the path to becoming fully alive.